Okay, time to do a movie review with you of a great 80s film, Chances Are. And the reason for this movie review is because looking online, I saw a lot of unfortunately negative reviews about this great film. So, the purpose of this is I want to counterbalance those negative reviews because this movie is very underrated. It is not your average romantic comedy. This movie is deep. How deep, you ask? I say, how deep do you want to get? Because we're talking about reincarnation, the afterlife, friendship, death. There's a love triangle in the movie, parenthood, and a woman experiencing a midlife crisis in Cybil Shepard's character. So, first, let's just do a little background into the film and the plot and what it's about, starting with the subject of reincarnation. Now, in this film, Cybil Shepard's character and Christopher McDonald's character are young lovers, but it's a bit of a love triangle because their best friend is so close with them that he enters the house whenever he wants, like he has his own key and can enter and go. He's Christopher McDonald's character best friend, and he's Cybil Shepard's character's best friend. So he's friends with both of them, and he even admits to Christopher McDonald's character that he's in love with his wife. And a lot of the negative reviews I saw were criticizing and laughing at this, but it's not to be laughed at. It's actually what makes this movie so special is the honor and the trust that is involved in their friendship, where they can be open and direct and admit to your best friend that you are in love with his wife, and to have him smile and accept it, and at the same time trust that the two of you can even be alone and he doesn't even feel jealous because he trusts you to do the right thing, and he trusts her to honor their marriage. So it's actually a beautiful thing, the fact that they have this closeness between a best friend and his wife. So when this character died, they're young lovers in their 20s, and when Christopher McDonald's character dies, he's going to get reincarnated in a new body. But in this film, during reincarnation, you have to take a shot that makes you forget your past life. Well, he's in such haste to get back to his wife that he runs off before he gets the shot. So as fate would have it, he's now in a different body, reincarnated, Robert Downey Jr.'s body, and he once again, at the age of 20, runs into his wife, Cybil Shepard, who is now 40 years old. And this is part of the comedy aspect of the romantic comedy, where he has to, convince her that, hey, I'm your dead husband. I'm reincarnated as him. And so there's some fun with that. But then finally, when she realizes that it's true, they have their first date out. And so now you have this woman that was in a midlife crisis explaining to her therapist how dead she had been feeling inside for so long, and how now she suddenly feels alive again. And you just see it in the expression on her face. And they go out on a date together in this beautiful Corvette, top down, and the wind is blowing through her beautiful blonde hair. It kind of reminds me of the movie Cruel Intentions, when Reese Witherspoon's character is driving on the highway, driving off into the sunset with the wind blowing in her beautiful blonde hair. And there's the song playing by, is it The Verve? Bittersweet Symphony. And it just elevates that movie. Well, the same thing happens here, because the song that they pick during this beautiful scene of Robert Downey and Cybil Shepard going out on a date for the first time in 20 years, since he died in his previous life, and she's coming back to life again. And of course, the song that plays, Rod Stewart, Forever Young. And this scene could really bring you to tears, and you think, man, this is one of the most magical marriages of music and film that we've seen. This is on a level of like when you think of the way Eye of the Tiger lifted the movie Rocky, or when you think of the way Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On lifted the movie Titanic. It's that type of thing. And I believe that the 80s actually mastered this format. The director of this movie, Emile Arnaud, hope I'm getting that name right. The director also directed Dirty Dancing, and if you think of how Eric Carmen's song Hungry Eyes lifted that film, or he also directed Three Men and a Lady, and the song Waiting for a Star to Fall elevated that film. This film is also elevated by the choices they made in music and in the score. And that's not even the height of it. The Rod Stewart moment where they are reunited and Forever Young is playing. Because the theme song for this film is actually After All by Cher and Peter Cetera. And this theme kind of plays throughout. There's the beginning of the film when they're originally together as young 20-year-olds, and Christopher McDonald is in the living room trying to play the piano notes for the song After All, but he doesn't quite have the song just right. And then later in the film, when he's reincarnated and he comes back in Robert Downey Jr.'s body, Robert Downey Jr. is playing the song on piano, and it's starting to come together. So that then by the end of the film, when they have this beautiful wedding scene, it's a scene that reminds me of the movie Mannequin with Kim Cattrall and John Cusack when they're marrying to Jefferson Starship's Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now. And it's just this picturesque, uplifting, great 80s music, movie, magical moments. This is the same thing. You have a wedding scene at the end, and this song, beautiful song by Cher and Peter Cetera, After All, playing at the end as the marriage takes place. And so I think because of the deep themes in this film, the music that drives the film, the way the director even used a glow. He used lighting so that Cybil Shepard's blonde hair was almost glowing in the film. And, you know, when the light shines on Ryan O'Neal's face, it lights up, and just the way the decorations and the architecture and in and around the house is to give you this dreamlike quality that you're inside of a dream. And that's the way that the film feels. A very inspirational film for a person's love, life, and about second chances in life, and about reinventing oneself and renewal. And I think it's a timeless classic that deserves to be up there with all those other great classic 80s films. So it's a movie from my childhood that I never forgot, even though I watched it at an age that I was too young to probably be watching such a film, but I never forgot it. Thank you for listening.